It's Friday, that means only one thing, another video. Right, here we go, we're pushing on. We are pushing on. Are we on? Cameras are all rolling. It's Friday afternoon. I'm out for Japanese tonight. We're going sushi.
Get in my belly!
A little bit excited, just a little bit excited. If you haven't watched the first 4 installments of videos on this series, you need to go back and watch them, because if not, you're a bit of an idiot. That's harsh, isn't it? That's harsh. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it. Where are we? Let's have a little catch up. I've got a neck. I've got a body. That is where we are so far. So in this video today, we're actually making a fair bit of headway. Let me go through what I want to do. First thing is cut a neck pocket. We've got to get that chopped out so that we are ready to mount this bastard. Once I've done that, I can finish my final bit of sanding off camera. Don't want you falling asleep. I'm gonna have to use a plate. I don't want to use the plate. Let me know in the comments if you think I should have done me a little bit of relief on here. Look, I could alter a plate. That probably wouldn't be the end of the world. Let's have a look at what Gilmour did. So I can't figure out if that's just a bad photo with shadowing and all the rest of it, or if that is a black plate that he's painted. If that's the case, I'm gonna have to paint my plate. I can do that.
He's high.
It's not the end of the world. Cut the neck pocket. That is stage 1. Stage 2, getting the neck the right colour. This is very, very white, crispy, modern, nice maple. And we want it to be yellow. I don't want to go too mental because that could look a bit shit. The way I'm going to play this, and I've never done this before, but we are aging this guitar. So the way I'm going to play it, you can see the fretwork on this guitar. Normally people pick through the clear coat. Well, I'm not painting with clear coat. I'm doing an oil neck because I just prefer that. And visually, it's not going to look that different. So I'm going to scrape away the finish on here before I oil, and then I'm going to oil over everything else. So that's what we're going to do. Right, we've decided. I'm going to water down this crispy, stunning stains. I'm going to water it down so it's very, very faint. We'll get a couple of coats on there and get this aged up. Stop wanking the wood. Sorry about that. Once that's dry, I'll do a fret job. And we're going to go vintage frets. I'm not going to go stainless steel or anything crazy. We're going vintage, as it would be. It doesn't appear as though Dave put any primer on before he sprayed over the top. Of course he didn't. I doubt he put a clear coat on. So I'm going to stun in stains, a burst on the outside of this guitar, and then I'm going to spray over that black. That should be quite simple, really. Am I going to have to spray this without priming it? Otherwise, we're going to start seeing the primer on here. So many questions, not a lot of answers. So let's wing it. That's what we always do. Let's wing it. Try and stay with me, all right? Do all YouTubers a favor. Watch the video to the end. Force yourself. Oh, it's 15 minutes. Can I make it? You can make it. You can do that. If you watch a video to the end and then maybe click on another one and watch the second video, YouTube will think I'm amazing. And it'll tell other people. That's the best thing you can do to help me. And you can comment and like, because I like your comments. You're generally very friendly.
All these little things driving me crazy. I just wanna be free. All these feelings got me seeing hazy. I can barely breathe. I'm the stubborn type, no you can't say.
We're going to cut the neck pocket out. I don't normally use the templates, but I'm going to use the template and I'll show you the pitfalls of using the template. Here we go. So as you can see, on Little Dave, I've got a viewer called Little Dave. Oi, Little Dave. Here we've got the neck pocket from the Crimson template. And here we have our neck, which I've stained down. So it's like a horrible matte yellow at the minute. But you can see when I put that in the O, I've got wiggle room. A typical Fender neck pocket, to be honest. But we're going to tighten that up. Ooh. All I'm going to do for that is by bunging a little bit of fine line tape. 2 layers around the outside of that, and it should make it a bit more of a squeeze. Here's me fine line tape. Make sure he's stuck on really well. Then we get our neck in gently. That's taken a lot of the wiggle room out of there. Happy with that. Your typical Fender neck pocket is generally pretty shit. People like to do the demonstrations, don't they? They put the neck in the pocket, they pick it up. You buy a lot of Fenders off the shelf, they won't be doing that. Don't try that at home. Unless you want to start the relicing process early. Now on my shitty Fender, which of course we're manufacturing to very similar properties, my neck pocket is only 17mm deep. So we'll start with that and see how we get on. 17mm deep neck pocket. Doesn't seem very deep, does it? There's a rather large chunk on the bottom. I hate that chunk. Really hurts leaving that on there, but we're gonna for authenticity. Well, that's a good reason why I don't like using that method, because as soon as I started routing it, the tape demolished itself. But we'll see how we've got on. Good thing about screwing this template down, obviously if it's a nice finished guitar, we can't do that. But we've screwed it down, and if we need to take a little bit more, we could if we wanted, if that was necessary. Always annoys me how that bit tapers away to nothing. So in goes our neck, and actually, that's pretty good. I'm gonna check my center line. You can see there I've got a little bit to sand off just to make that mate perfectly with our neck. That got a bit serious, didn't it? Sorry, serious moment. Now we've got that looking a little bit delightful, should we put Doc's pick guard on and see what it looks like and how we're fitting? So we've got all the hardware necessary for this build, and we've got the Doc's extremely high-end loaded pick guard, custom wound boutique, trained by Dylan himself, and it's a perfect fit. Oh, looks like one of those kit guitar adverts you get on AliExpress, doesn't it? But we'll definitely improve on that. Everything fits beautifully there. Super happy with that. Just gonna sand the edge of this neck pocket, get that pucker. Doc's the boy, isn't he? He's the boy. He's doing it because he knows it's for charity. Right, so we've given that a quick sand off. When we bolt her up, she is going to be nigh on dead flush. Not bad anyway, not bad. I'll wait till I screw it together and get some bits lined up. If I've got to take any more off there, little finger point. Do you find it weird when people point with their little finger? Me and Mrs. Richards think it's very odd.
Very weird.
Right, stop the press. I always reserve right to change things if I want to change things. And I have changed things because I hate Fender neck joints. So what I've done, I've compromised. I've gone with my bolts. With the fixed in bolts that we all like to use. Machine bolts, machine screws, they'll last forever. Beautiful. And all I've done is I've just relieved that corner. Acoustasonic style, they do that, and I think the PRS do that on a couple of models as well. It just improves that a little bit, just a smidgen. And obviously I like to use machine bolts anyway. So that's what I've gone for. Back to the build. David Gilmour's Strat has got some nice fretwear because the geezer plays all up the neck because he's a legend, which is why we're doing this guitar. So I've got to do that. I've dyed my neck. It looks alarmingly yellow at the minute, but actually it's not far off. It's not far off the colour of that. We're going to do a true oil finish on this. I'm not going to be putting any polyurethane or nitro or anything. So we're going for that on the neck. Very easy to control. Controversially, I'm doing it before I put the frets in. And that's because I need to super glue my frets in. So I'm going to get lots of true oil on over the next few days, very thin coats, and it's much easier to apply and buff and all the rest of it before the frets go in. I've never done it like that before, but I'm going to in this build. I'm going to scrape some of this finish away. That might be a fail. We might end up sanding that and redoing it. I don't know, but it takes 2 minutes. So we're going to gently scrape or maybe even sand that away. I'm going to start with a Stanley knife. Again, it's all a bit of a first, so we can learn together. The amount of videos I've watched on all this sort of stuff, everyone's got their own way. Throw it around the workshop, hit it with keys, nuts and bolts, all that sort of stuff. We'll just try a few things out. It doesn't really matter, does it? If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. The other thing we've got to do, where the caler was fitted, that's raised. I think I'm going to have to do that with like a bit of filler. Smear a bit of filler on here, sand it, as though you've done a really bad fill and sand job, so there's a few raised bits on the back edge. I don't know. I'm trying to talk to you like I know what I'm doing. I've got a clue. It's just me and my thoughts in the workshop. First tip of the day, if you're going to buy true oil and you're only doing one guitar, just buy the little teeny tiny one. it doesn't last on the shelf. It's a nightmare. It goes crunchy. So if you're going to be doing true oil over a few days, get yourself a Chinese container. We've all got these because we all indulge on a Friday night. And pour yourself out some, about that much. I like a nice white rag. I think this was one of Mrs. Richards's tops actually. Yeah, I definitely want one of mine. So I've got some marks basically on the body where I think I've got to do some of my crazy work. Right, back to the complete madness that is fucking up a guitar body. So I put my filler on there. I'm going back at this a little bit quick. If I sound like shit today, it's because I feel like shit and I'm trying to hide it from the camera. But I've just had a stomach bug and it tried turning my body inside out for 2 days. Horrific.
My stomach is just...
I did put a post on Instagram and I had lots of violins sent to me. Lots of friendly people. Thanks very much. I felt the love. I felt it. It washed over me. So a bit of 80 grit. There's a bit of a lip here on the filler. So I'm just going to scrape this away. That's all I'm doing for that. Now I'm going to move on. We'll see what this looks like with primer on it and see if it's given us the right look. So this guitar is actually a spray over a black burst. So we're not priming it. I'm going to put a red sunburst on the outside, just a bit of red, nothing too crazy, so that when we start etching through the black, we should see a little bit in there.
Somebody get him some water, please.
So very, very just blasé. I'm just going to stain this body in red. Now I'm going to start scraping off the fretboard. This bit could get a little bit hairy, but we're making it up as we go along, and I know you enjoy watching the ride. Secretly, I think you like it when it goes horribly, but we'll say no more.
Yep.
Right, so I'm zooming in with overhead cam. Remember, we're trying to match the pattern of this. I'm happy with how much that's scraped away, but now we've got to discolour this a little bit, and this is where I want to be a little bit careful. All I can think about doing with that is I'm going to use some pencil lead on my fingers. I didn't want to do it with stain because I don't think that's going to work. All right, I'm licking my finger. It's not lead poisoning, it's not 1971. Calm yourself down, stop typing. There, from a distance. That's as close as I'm going to let you get to this neck for the duration of this series. Now, on a serious note, that's kind of worked out all right. I don't want to go too mental. We're not far off that. It's never going to be perfect. We're learning as we go along. All I'm going to do now is crack on with the oiling process. Lots and lots of coats. So even though I've put the lid on my tub, it's still drying out. The solids are going solid. True oil is a funny one because you'll think it's not doing anything. But then 7 or 8 coats in, you'll start seeing that sheen and it creeps up on you. Very easy to apply, just don't get greedy. So since our last video, I've put a rudimentary sunburst on this body. Ordinarily, we would paint the sunburst on and then go over the top with black, but I didn't want to buy a can of red and yellow paint and have to do all that shiz. There's only a few spots that the red shows through. I wonder if that will focus on there. So I didn't need to do all of that, but who knows how it's going to turn out when I start throwing it around the car park. I'm just going to give it a very quick touch up. Nothing too pervy.
How rude.
Okie dokie, I'm going to take this down to Fritzl's. I'm going to get probably 3 coats of grain filler on it. And then we'll bring it up, we'll give it a quick sand off, When I've done all the black, I'll come back and I'll paint all the cavities with our shielding paint. See you in a shake. Same time next week, folks. I'm cutting it short. I'm not going to paint it on camera. The body is downstairs at the minute being painted for about the 48th time. It's pissing me right off. I hate paint. We're moving away from paint very soon. I've got to paint a couple coming up. That's tough shit. See you next week. Make sure you come back. Share me channel. Share me links. Leave a comment. Show some love. Don't be a